What's going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this show, we're talking round 2 recap for the ZOZO Championship. Craig, we saw pretty low scores on Thursday, then an absolute birdie fest on Friday. Do you think today was the actual moving day?
Yeah, well, I think we just saw a totally different pace out there today. I think if you're Sebastian Munoz, you feel like you exploded out of the blocks. And you know, it's like an 800-meter race, and you powered through the first couple hundred meters, and you're like, man, I'm cruising, and then just the whole field just goes blitzing by you. I
like that comparison. That's great.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where, I don't know, we're both runners. We've been in those races where you're like, I feel pretty good, and then everyone else kicks it into another gear, and you're like, oh, yeah, sheesh.
Yeah, if you're shooting 300 or 400 today, I mean, you're being left behind in a sense.
Yeah. Well, Munoz, I think, was 2 under on the day. And, you know, it's not out of it by any means, but it's a far cry from his 8 under yesterday.
Yeah. So you also picked Justin Thomas in our PGA DFS showdown for this round. I mean, we both liked what we saw in the back 9 on Thursday. We thought he's going to get into the lead. I mean, what do you think of JT today? Just kind of more of the same, or was it a little bit disappointing down the stretch?
I mean, it's sort of, to me, it's a little bit disappointing, like Dustin Johnson's, what was it, his 60 or 59 or whatever that was, it's 59 earlier in the playoffs, just because it felt like he cruised through his front 9, and then it just felt like there was so many scoring opportunities on his back 9 that he didn't take advantage of. Yeah,
I agree, and I think you notice that his strokes gain approach aren't necessarily what we've seen from him. I mean, he is really the best iron player on the planet. So maybe there's more scoring for him to come on the weekend.
Yeah, well, he's negative in strokes gain approach right now in the tournament. Or I don't know if it's the tournament or just it was today.
Just round 2. He's still positive, but he's under a stroke. Like usually he's well ahead of it.
Yeah, it's not his normal. Yeah. But, you know, he parred both par 5s on his back 9. He was even through his last 6 holes. And when the whole field is moving relative to par, even through your last 6 holes, doesn't feel too good.
Yeah. One behind him, we have Fritelli and Lanto Griffin. Thoughts there? They both went 7 under today, so they're 1 back of JT.
Yeah, I mean, these were 2 of the guys we talked about who were at, what were they, -6, 2 back yesterday, and both did a good job moving today. You know, Fritelli was tied for the lead going into his last hole. He hit it into a little bit of almost like a rut next to a tree there, and had to punch out and made bogey. But to me, it just feels like Lanto feels like a bit more of a threat to me. Mm-hmm. And just because Fritelli, he was so hot with his putter, he actually lost strokes off the tee and approach, which it's hard to sustain moving up the leaderboard when you're doing that, when you're not gaining the strokes ball striking.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think the 2 names at 12, though, if I was JT, those 2 names would be scaring me a lot more.
I mean, humble brag to me, they're the 2 that I picked on the PGA, our DFS show, our round 2 showdown
show. So we have Patrick Cantlay and Scottie Scheffler both came in at -12. Both of them shot 7 under 65s on the day. You know, Scheffler, I didn't get to see much of Cantlay, but Scheffler felt like it could have been lower. Like, he missed an eagle putt. He had a bad lip out.
And he had a few more bogeys than he should have. I think through the first 8 holes, he hadn't had a par. I mean, his pars were practically...
Well, he started with, 5 straight birdies or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we spoke about him a bit going into the tournament. Just... It seemed like he's shaken off his post-COVID rust, and he's dangerous. He's dangerous down there.
Well, I think both Cantlay and Scheffler are kind of the same. I mean, they have the exact same scores through 2 days, but we're both like, they're so talented. We just haven't seen the level of game that we expect from them. Yeah. And now I think it's coming around.
Well, I think there's a little bit of a difference. I mean, in terms of the last few months, yes, but Cantlay obviously has a bit more pedigree. Like he's been around a bit longer. He's won big tournaments, all that. Scottie Scheffler, we still haven't seen him get his first PGA Tour win. So he has played well in big events, I think, in strong fields. It's just we haven't seen him, close the deal and get that win.
They're just interesting guys because, like the JT, we feel like he's at his ceiling. Like I think we know what JT can do, but Cantlay and Scheffler, we don't know what their ceiling is. They can still go higher.
Yes, I hear you. I agree. But I don't know if I don't agree with JT being at his ceiling.
Yeah, that might be a stretch.
I think it's more to me, it's more like JT has put all the pieces together. His ceiling in terms of what that gets for results, I think we might see a lot of results to come that we don't see yet for JT. But Cantlay and Scheffler, it feels like they're still arranging the pieces, and the real top play from them is yet to be seen.
Yeah. Okay, so through 2 days, that's kind of our cluster at the top. Then we have this other cluster: 11 under, 10 under, 16 guys.
16 guys at 11 and 10 under. That's crazy.
They're all within strike. I mean, this course, you said it yesterday, not only do we see birdies and eagles, but we can see doubles. Mm-hmm. We can see, like, bogeys are out there, doubles are out there. It's not just a kind of runaway birdie fest type course.
Yeah. So of these 16, there's some names that I think are very notable in terms of what the potential they have going into the weekend. Yeah. We've got Answer, who still doesn't have his first PGA Tour win, but everyone knows he's dangerous. Harris English, who's playing great the last 6 months. Bubba, who is just Bubba out there. Tyrrell Hatton, who, third week in a row, he's super hot. Patrick Reed, Tony Finau, Webb Simpson, last week's winner, Kokrak, the somewhat surprising Justin Rose. These guys here, what, of that 16-guy cluster, who do you like from there going into the weekend? Yeah,
so, I mean, I talked about him as one of my sleepers, and I picked him as a sleeper on our website. I got to go with Kevin Kisner.
You got your stamp on him, so you don't want to.
I do my research from Monday to Wednesday. I zeroed in on it. We're only 2 days into this. Okay, so here's what I really like about Kisner. He's third through the first 3 days in strokes gained approach. I think that's one of the stats that is most telling of kind of future success, because when your irons are on, your irons are on. You can have a hot putting day and then kind of lose it. You can be great off the tee and then spray a couple. But when your irons are on, it's usually a good sign for low scoring.
I'd find ways to argue with that, but
I'm sure you would.
I don't know if we need to argue about it. It reminds me a bit of like the NFL analysts that take someone their preseason Super Bowl favorite, and then they make it into the playoffs as like a wild card, and they're just like, who you got? Well, I'm keeping my guy.
Hey man, There's reasons why I liked him. I still like him. I haven't seen any reason not to continue with Kisner. I don't necessarily know if he's going to leap into first, but I like where he's at, and I think he can continue to kind of chip away and move up. Just consistent 5 under. I mean, I think we'll do it into a top 5 or a top 10. Okay, same cluster. Question to you: who do you like there?
So I'm going at -11. Tyrrell Hatton seems like he's just lurking there to me. He was someone who I actually expected he might go a bit lower today with the scoring. Yep. I think he was only -4. He was only 68 today.
Yeah.
But he's just been so hot over the last few weeks, and it's just these type of events where it's really a birdie fest. It seems he'll be dangerous. I don't know. I mean, with JT up there, ultimately JT, I think, will control his own fate. If he plays as well as he can play and everything, then I can see him, being in control. But if he doesn't, there's so many guys just a few strokes back that they can charge, and Hatton's a great charger, I think.
Well, I think that's kind of interesting because 2 weeks ago we were at the Shriners, and Bryson, I think, was the leader after 36 holes. He fell off. Cantlay fell off in the last round. Last week we go to CJ Cup in Vegas. Xander, I think, was in control after 2 days, and
the
we're
same
like,
point we're at right now.
I don't think there's any way Xander's going to lose it, and then he goes out and is 1 over on Saturday and claws back. So both guys, I mean, we're talking Xander and Bryson DeChambeau, two of the best. I mean, we're talking top 15, top 10 guys in the world. Who knows what happens with JT? We know that he can spray his driver from time to time.
Yeah, well, and that would really be it. Because there is it is so easy to make mistakes here. If he does, Xander last week on Saturday, he just didn't have it in really any aspect of his game. And
he was aligned off. He was just off.
If Justin gets out there and he's spraying it tomorrow, then obviously I think the field will move past him. But it's just more I don't know if I see. I think. And this is where it felt like to me last week, last Friday, it felt like Xander got everything out of that round that he could have. It felt like JT didn't get everything out of the round today that he could have. And so maybe it's just that there's something left in the tank for tomorrow. I don't know, but I can come up with whatever narrative I want.
I'm just presenting the facts of the last 2 weeks. It's been the top tier guy in the lead. I'm not betting against JT for the rest of the tournament. Like, I think he's going to pull it off. There's no reason to think otherwise.
Yeah. So a couple other, just one other thing I did want to bring up.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments today was Joel Dahmen. I don't know what hole it was on, but there's like a rowdy house, and you can tell because they keep having to cut the audio. Like 5-second guy's working hard to make sure nothing gets through to the broadcast. But he dropped a pretty good birdie putt there, 10 foot, something like that, maybe 15. And he just goes to the guys on the deck at the house. Are you not entertained? It was awesome. Just a classic Gladiator moment.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love those moments. I feel like there's tons of like kind of weird, quirky stories from day one. A few, not so many of those.
No one snapped any clubs that I saw.
There was a great bunker hole out for Morikawa. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you did see that, I think it was on his front nine, a par 5. He was greenside in 3, and he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just kind of big swing at it.
Almost like it didn't quite look like a downslope, but he definitely, like, it didn't look like it was quite flat. So like maybe a gentle downslope. But just a great shot. One of
the shots of the day, I think. So
I think he was also pretty happy because it would have gone. I think it had some junk on it, so it wouldn't have gone too far. But he felt
easily,
like he stole one there.
Easily been a par.
Yeah.
I mean that had 2 putt written all over it.
Yeah.
So Morikawa, let's talk about some notables. Morikawa was at 8. I think he had a really nice day today, bogey free. He's kind of moved into things. I mean, when we talk about where do you think you need to be through halfway to still be in some kind of contention?
So, I mean, I think Webb Simpson at 10, definitely in contention. Rahm at 9. Yep. Morikawa, I think to me that's about where he'll have to do something pretty special. I mean, he's 6 back now. There's 20 guys at 10 or better. So it's not even the fact that he's 6 back of the leader. It's the fact of how many people are ahead of him. So, the guys at -8 like that, we also had, I think Hovland is around there. He might be at 9. But anyways, I think those guys there have to go out and really do something special to be, whether it's on Saturday or Sunday. They're not going to be able to go something like 66 and win this. They'll have to go out there and shoot a 61, 62 or something like that to really move relative to everyone else who's still moving.
I think we missed it at the top, but 61, Richy Werenski.
Yeah.
That was out there, and he had a bogey. I think it was 12 birdies he had.
Yeah.
So I think the course record was 61 by DJ coming in. So I'm assuming, I didn't really see his post round, but I'm assuming he tied the course record.
Yeah, I think that I think it's also the tournament record. I think DJ's wasn't in tournament, so whether it's not a course record, I guess, but it's the record for the a tournament event. Other good rounds outside of, no one, there was a few 63s. We had Bubba, Patrick Reed, and Gooch at 63. And then Finau and Victor Hovland were both 64s. So lots of low scoring.
So I think those 8s and 9s are out there. I don't know if anyone's going to get another 61. necessarily. I think 63, 64, if it's a harder setup, possibly. So
yeah, but I mean, there's so much volatility. Like, obviously, it depends on pin placements, what they do for the weekend. But you've got 5 par 5s. You've got at least 1 par 4 is drivable. So there, there are scores out there to be had. It's just, like Werenski did it with a bogey. Yeah. So it's a matter of, can you take advantage of all those opportunities? Like there are low scores to be seen. It's just a matter of, I don't know. I'm not saying someone's going to do it, but it's there.
Well, I mean, so out of the notables, Matthew Wolff, I mean, he seems to be like he's about to have this really low round, and then he has a double bogey or a string of bogeys. So he sits at 6 under, I think, right now.
Yeah, he's out of it as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if he went out there and shot 10 under, maybe he'll have a chance. But even still, he'd be at 16. There's going to be a pack there. So he'd have to do something really special, I think, at 6.
Yeah. Your boy Rory McIlroy, the only Rory. We just can call him Rory. He improved today, but he's 4 under only.
He did well compared to his first day, but he's not playing for the win at this point.
Yeah.
He's at 4. Xander's out of it, I think, at 3. Tiger's improved.
Hey, my one and done pick. So, I mean, I kept hearing on the broadcast how good he looked on Tuesday, Wednesday on the range. Thursday morning on the range, he looked good too. And this Thursday round has caught everyone by surprise. So
it didn't catch me by surprise.
He tidied things up. I saw that. I think it's his best round-to-round improvement in his PGA Tour career. I feel like that's cherry picking a stat though, just to fit what they.
So he was 76 the first day, 66 today. So
10 strokes better. Hey, 66, I'll take it. He's my one and done pick, so I wanted to claw back into like a top 40, top 30, whatever he can get. I don't know. I still think he can go out there. If he has a couple more 66s, I'm happy with that for Tiger.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's also like what does this mean going forward for Tiger? And definitely him getting a 66 today is a positive, and so we'll see. I know that he's teased the idea of playing in the Houston Open, so we'll see whether or not he decides he does want more competitive reps. Maybe if he got the 66 today, maybe if he plays well in these next 2, he'll decide that he's feeling good and doesn't need the reps.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he would play before Augusta, but I don't know. I guess if he feels he needs it.
Yeah.
So, okay, the course today was over 4 strokes under par. I mean, it was, I think, just under 2. It was almost double as easy it was from Thursday to Friday. Any thoughts where it's going to go Saturday, Sunday? What are we going to see from the weekend?
Well, JT's interview, his post-round interview, he seemed to think that they would make it a little bit more difficult with pin placements. He also said it was fairly soft. I don't know whether they will plan to firm them up and dry them out or whether that's just Southern California, they're soft because it's humid there. I don't really know. I mean, it's not that humid, so I don't really know. I suspect we saw our lowest scoring round today.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think there's possibly more wind in the afternoon tomorrow, so maybe that kind of opens things up for a few of the chasers, but I mean,
yeah, and I was looking at the forecast. The potential wind I thought that might have come on Sunday looks like it's going to be on Monday now. So there's going to be minimal, I think, wind. It's not like we're really going to get a windy day. So I expect scoring is going to continue to go. Yesterday I said that 20 was not in play. I retract that. I think that it could very easily get to 20.
It's getting to 20 for sure. I mean, they're on the doorstep right now. Yeah. They're knocking on the door.
They're knocking on the door. We'll see if they get in or not.
So as we wrap up, do you want to take a stab at who you think is going to pull out the win?
Well, I've got my one and done's Tyrrell Hatton, but I'm thinking JT takes us down.
And do you have a new score prediction?
At 21.
Okay. I mean, I hate to be just always go with the leader, but I mean, it's JT, and I don't see any flaws in his game. I mean, maybe that driver, I don't know. Let's say Justin Thomas takes it, but it's going to be a little bit better scoring. Let's go 24 under.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We'll also drop a PGA DFS Showdown video for Saturday, so check that out as well if you are into DFS. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.